So, I just watched Borderlands about an hour or two ago. I have to say, this movie, my brother told me that it was part of a game. You know, like the actual Borderlands is a game thing. So I didn't know that before. Like, I knew that before going into the movie, so I kind of expected it to be kind of like Uncharted was like a game as well, right? So I kind of expected it to be like, to have like parts where it was an obvious game part, you know, like how some of the battles, some of the like scenes where you have to fight enemies were like obviously going to be part of a game type thing. But this one was very much different to Uncharted, I would say, because Uncharted at least had somewhat of a better storyline, I would say. I think this one, even though it was obviously very different, it like neither of them are really the same, but they're just both games. But I think some of the things that they did in this movie weren't exactly, I mean, I don't know, I'm someone who's really bad at telling what's going to happen, but I could already tell when, as soon as what was her name, Lilith, Kate Blanchett, she did a really good job with Lilith, by the way. I really liked her. I think she was one of my favorites. But the fact that she found the second key when they went into that place, I knew as soon as she like found that so easily, that she was going to be the one that was like the special person, you know, like that they were saying it was the other girl, Tina, but it was actually her. You know, I knew it was going to be her at that point. And then obviously they still went through a load of different things to kind of make you think it could be the other girl when it obviously was never going to be. I don't know. I think that's the part where I was like, this, like, you could feel the obvious game parts of it, because even after they escaped those other kind of Krieg people, because they got Jack Black, and what was his name, Claptrap, they got Claptrap to be like the what's it called, the oh my god, what's the name of the thing that it is, like distraction. He was like the distraction, the robot, and then they got past it, but they found the key. And every time that happens in a game, obviously those people are going to come back and you have to actually have a battle. So I knew completely that they were going to come back, and it was going to be a battle, because that was so obvious. Like a lot of the time in games you can escape people and then they'll still come back, you know, you've got to actually defeat them for them to be gone. And then obviously it was like two different sides of people that came to kind of kill them in that lift. And then obviously it was, I guess, I don't really, I actually can't remember it in the lift, because I know that it was her that pushed the button. It was Tina that pushed the button and stuff like that. She's the one that like got them away. But then in reality it was actually not her, it was Lilith, which means I didn't really watch Lilith in that scene, so I don't know what she was doing, but I'm assuming she was getting them away, because she's the one that actually teleported them, which is interesting. Like, how did that work? But obviously, like, how is that girl special then? Because like Lilith said she was special, but not in the way you think. Like, how is she special then? Like, what is she special about? Is it she's like not special at all? Is that why she's special? I don't understand. Like, I don't get why she said she's special. I mean, maybe it's just because she's a kid and she don't want her to be heartbroken or whatever, but I don't know. But some of the jokes hit and missed for me. Like, some of the Jack Black things, sometimes it was a bit cringe. I don't know. I think it's probably my age. Like, there's a lot of people who are younger that would like it more, I think. There were two boys in front of me and they kept on whispering to each other, and I don't think they liked this movie. That's what it kind of gave me vibes of anyway, because they kept leaving and then coming back, so like at different points, not at the same time, but like sometimes one of them would go to the toilet, I guess. But I think they were just really bored of it, to be honest, but they probably had paid for it, so they had to come and stay. I loved Jack Black as the robot. Like, I think that was a really good choice. I think sometimes he just overdid it with some of his lines. Like, I think there are some points of it where he just did too much. Like, I think his voice was just like you know how Jack Black is, but like sometimes he just doesn't need to put it on as much as he is doing. Because I think sometimes he needs to be a bit calmer than he was being. But I think it's also just the character that he is in this. He's just supposed to be that kind of rambunctious and like crazy. But some of the jokes were really good from him. I think he was really good. It's interesting how Kevin Hart, who is like a comedian as well, wasn't really funny in this movie. Like, he was very serious, I would say, more than funny. So it's very interesting. Like, he was more in the acting stage than the comedy stage, which is, I think it's a cool thing, because everything he's been in, I'm pretty sure, has been comedy. So it's kind of cool to have him in this where he's not really the comedy person, you know. I think that's pretty cool. I think he did a really good job as well. I think some of the fighting scenes were just really bad. Like, I don't know what it was, but some of them felt fake. Like, you could see that someone was like getting hit or punched or whatever. But it was like they just kind of, I don't know if it was the camera work as well, because I think the camera work was spoiling it, because sometimes somebody would just like be like getting killed or getting like hurt, you know, and then they would just kind of like flop there, so you could see them flopping there, whereas if you just like held the camera up a bit, you wouldn't be able to see that. Like, it just felt so fake because of the fact that they were, the way they were falling and the way they were just dying, and like, I don't know, I feel like some of the camera work just wasn't good in that way. So maybe it was the camera work more than the stunts. But sometimes they were like right in front of you and you could see the stunts were bad, because you could see that the stuff wasn't going inside anybody. I don't know, it's just weird that. I loved Jamie Lee Curtis as the doctor person. She did such a good job of the character she played. Like, obviously she comes in like halfway through or something, but she did a really good job. Like, her role was very interesting. I didn't expect her to be like in it so much later than everyone else, but I really liked her like vibe, I guess. I don't know, like she just looked really cool, and she also like was kind of very honest, like and she was worried, you know, like I didn't know if any of these people were gonna be like turning to the bad side kind of thing. I don't know if they were gonna be like double agents. I was very interested to see how it would go fully, because I thought that was really cool. The person who plays Krieg, Florian Montano, I didn't know. So he apparently is German, and he's in like all the Krieg movies. I haven't watched any of them, so I haven't watched anything he's been in. But he had a very interesting way about him. Like, I loved watching his fighting scenes, and I loved watching any time he was kind of just there, because I mean, you know, he was like shirtless and everything, but sometimes when he spoke, I was like, what is going on? Like, why, like what kind of character is he? Like, why does he speak like this? And the fact that his hat, like the mask got like broken like in one of the fights, and it was obviously still not fixed by the end, but I don't know why he has the mask on. Like, that's what I'd like to know as well. That's one of the questions that I would have liked to have known. Like, if it was just part of their face, like if it's not supposed to break and it's just supposed to be part of their face, I don't really understand that, because like, how do you eat anything? Like, I'm confused. But Edgar Ramirez as Atlas, he did a good job. I think he was a good choice for Atlas. I think sometimes some of the actors that were playing like kind of minor roles, like Atlas kind of plays a minor role, even though he is like part of the whole storyline, but like he's barely actually there. But like, I think some of the people, like some of the acting was kind of like not there fully. Like, I think some of them were a bit iffy, I would say. Bobby Lee being in this as like the friend, I think that was probably a comedy scene kind of thing, like with Kevin Hart and Bobby Lee. Like, that was more of a good little comedy kind of not really comedy, but like it was a good little scene there for them too. But obviously he was, you know, a bad person. Like, well, he was trying to, you know, he was on the wrong side, I guess. Interesting. I knew as soon as he started saying like, you know, you left all of us and you didn't say anything or whatever, what you were saying, I knew that he was going to be on the bad side. Benjamin Byron Davis playing Marcus. Wait a minute. Who's that? Oh my god, my brain. Gina Gershon, Mad Moxie. Interesting. So Mad Moxie was the girl with like the big eyes and like the big, you know, and she like helped them to get away. Yeah, she was good. Ariana was good. Yeah, I really liked her in Barbie, and I was interested to see what she would be like in this movie. And the 2 scenes in the trailer that you see her in, kind of the P one where like the P comes through the window and then she's just not listening, and then the other one where she's just like, I think she like fights somebody and then she like flips or something, and those were cool scenes. Like I think she's a really good actress. I think Ariana's gonna go really far. I think she'll do a good you know, load of years of, you know, because she's growing up. I don't know how old she is, but she must still be teen or, you know, something like that, because I don't think she doesn't look like she'd be 20 yet, but I could be wrong. Kate and Jamie I think were my favorites, along with Krieg. I loved Krieg as a character a lot. I think I already said that, so that doesn't matter, but I think them 3 were probably my favorites, but I could be wrong. Like I think if I watch it again, maybe I'll find other things that I liked, because I did like Kevin Hart. Like I did like him as, you know, the way they came in and stuff. I did like his character because he was actually trying to save her and stuff. Some of the Haley Bennett as the mum, she was really pretty. Like as soon as I saw her, I was like, oh my god, she's gorgeous. And I didn't really focus on, you know, anything else. Like literally I wrote for these 2 people, Paula Andrea Placido. She was like the girl at the bar, like at the start when we meet like Lilith, and she takes the body into the bar place, and she's just the girl behind the counter. But she was literally the only thing I wrote about her was that she's pretty. She was really pretty. And she's like a minor character. We don't see her ever again after that, but she was really gorgeous. Janina Gavankar, who was the commander girl that, like, you know, kind of seemed to have had a thing with Kevin Hart's character. What was Kevin Hart's character again? Roland. Yeah, Roland. It seemed like she had something going with Roland at some point, and then obviously she just got killed because she took their side. Like she was just gone. Like she never came back. She was just gone. That was so quick, because she just like had a heart for a second, and then as soon as she had a heart, she got killed. So that was a bit insane. Now I think the issue with this movie was it took me a while to actually get into the movie. Like a lot of the times when you're in the theater and you're into the movie, you just kind of shut out everything around you. But I could still see everything. Like I saw the chairs all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the time you don't even notice that you're in a theater. A cinema. You just literally there, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like you're just watching the movie. It's only happened, I think, 3 times to me where the film has been like not bad. Like I think the other 2 films that I've not fully loved, or not fully liked at all, were like movies where I completely would just, like, one of the movies I almost fell asleep because it was so bad, and then one of the movies was just like I asked my mum if we could leave because it was that bad. Both of those movies were in a different lane to this one, because this one wasn't bad in the way like I wanted to leave or I was gonna fall asleep. Like I could still watch this movie. Do you know what I mean? Like it like I was still watching it. I was still having fun, because there were moments when I was actually involved in the movie. Like I was actually like happy watching it. And then sometimes I would just be brought back out and I would just be looking around like looking for food to have or whatever, you know. I was just like, sometimes it was just like not enjoyable as much as I'd love it to be. But I think also somebody told me before I even watched this movie that I may not love it, so I think that also put that into my head, and that wasn't very helpful. But I did love, you know, I would like to see more things with like Kate in the girl who plays Lilith, because, or the lady who plays Lilith, because she was really good. Like I actually loved her hair, like that orange kind of red, like little kind of crazy style. And every single time, like, she stood still and stuff, she stood like she was a game character, you know what I mean? So I think she did a really good job of showing that she's a person, but also like it's a game kind of thing, because obviously it's not actually a game in this like universe now, but like the way she was doing it was so cool. I don't know, I just thought it was so fun the way she was like the only one who was doing it as well. She was the only one who was like standing like a game character would. I thought this was just really awesome. But pretty much everybody, like all the like main ones that we see, I think they were all really good. I think they were all good choices to have as the people that they were, you know what I mean? I'd like to see what they all think of this movie, like if they like it and stuff, because obviously these are like quite big named people in this movie, like you know, popular people, like especially like Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis and Kate. Like they've been in all sorts of different things. Like I'm surprised that they wanted to be in this, in fact. But even Uncharted had like Tom Holland and the other guy, I forgot his name. But like, you know, it's popular people that are in these like movies that are like video games, and it's just like interesting to see why they would want to be in these, because it's like a lot of the time it's acting and you need to have like the same kind of look, but you can I can forgive like look things, you know, like I don't need to, because in your own way, obviously there's a look that there's a person you'd want to be the person that you like as a character, but also it's like you've got to kind of be okay with the fact that it may not be exactly what you thought, because like sometimes it's also acting that you've got to take into consideration. Like there's a lot of people who were hating on It Ends With Us, I think, because of the fact that like they didn't like the actual cast that got chosen. Like I think it makes sense to have the book in your head want to be made into like real life people, but at the same time you've already got something in your head from reading the book, you know, like nothing's gonna beat that because it's just your own imagination. Let's get past that. So my brother played the Borderlands game and didn't like it, so he's the one that told me that it was a game. So I just wanted to make sure that I don't think he would like this movie, I have to say. There's my brother's very like particular about movies that he will watch. Like the last one he watched, which was not that long ago actually, it was that one with Nicolas Cage, that really weird one, and he said that he would never watch that again, but it wasn't terrible, like you know. So I think he would definitely like Trap, but I don't think he would like this movie at all. There's no way, like there's definitely no way he would not like Jack Black in this movie at all. I can see that he wouldn't like him, and he does like Jack Black, but he does not like the type of humor that Jack Black is doing in this movie, like that's for sure. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Goodbye.
That was a lot of like nonsense.
Can't be kidding.